Hello, my YouTube family and friends. I pray that everyone is having a blessed Saturday. It is indeed a blessing to be alive, and I just thought I would hop on here. I had running some errands, as usual. Most of the time on Saturday, I don't have to go out of the house, so I'm grateful on those Saturdays. But this Saturday, I had a few things I needed to do, so I was like, well. Like, one is at the top of my list is vacuuming and washing my car. So, namely the car that I'm in, because it has not had a bath in a little while. And where we're at now, the state we're in now, in the South, when we were in Tennessee, we were seemed like your car, you washed it on, just an example, washed it on Monday. It stayed clean for just about that whole week. So I don't know what it is about the climate here or whatever, but that's why I don't really spend a lot of money washing the car, because every now and then I will, but I'll just take it to that little $10, where you just sit there and it washes it off, and I go on. Because when we first moved here, it was so funny. I was so adamant about, getting the car clean. And I was telling my son, I said, it's time for you. He said, Mom, it's time to wash your car, And now I notice me or him, it's not a big deal anymore. Because, we've been noticing people here that's, I'm sure have been living here and that live here, that's just not, even on the list anymore. Because it's just so, I don't know how to describe it, but as again, I can wash the car today, and then sometimes by tomorrow, it'll look like I didn't even wash it. So I don't know what that is here, but anyway, just a lot of dust, and it's a lot of debris that gets on your car here, and it's weird. But anyway, I'm not complaining, but I'm just being honest. I just noticed that when we first moved here, because I was so adamant again about washing the car. I mean, I was washing it so often, and I'm like, how come when I wash it, it seems like it's not washed? And I go somewhere, kept the car in the garage, go somewhere, come back, and the car would look just like it did before I washed it. So I'm like, okay, I'm over it. So that's the Lord telling me that's not even important. So just the fact that I have a car to get from A to B and C and D and wherever else I need to go, that's what's important. That's not important to be trying to have no car that's clean, shiny and all that. It's not my priority anyway. But anyway, I wanted to hop on here and share something that's been in my spirit this past week and even the week before. And if you do this, I'll be praying with you and for you that the Lord, releases this from your spirit, and he cleanses this out of your spirit. But it's profanity. I've been around so many women. I'm not going to say men. I'm going to say women. And I don't know, what that is. I don't know what it means spiritually. I don't know. The only conclusion I can come to is that, I know a lot of times, people that I've been around, even in Tennessee, they would be using a lot of profanity. The job that I left there, resigned from there, the women would only really do it though when they were like frustrated or something like that. But I'm not making excuses. But what I'm saying is that here, I've been around quite a few people, and I witnessed quite a few women, not men, women, that is just dirty, potty mouths. And I'm just like, what is going on with that? And so, I'm just like, because it makes me feel some type of way to be a witness. I'm literally right there while they're doing all this heavy profanity. And I'm just like, and then some of it, it seemingly is just unnecessary. It's like, it's unnecessary anyway, because you shouldn't be saying it. But, and especially from a woman, it just looks so, it just looks, just very ugly coming from anybody's mouth, but especially a woman. And so anyway, it will just be, they're frustrated. And then some of it, again, like I said, it's just, it's just like, why did you even curse? And it's just like, F this and S this, and you know what the rest is. But I'm just like, Because I was raised, I never really cursed. I think if I did, it was just maybe just to repeat what someone else said, or something like that. But it was never like a way of life. It was never, I was so accustomed to doing it that I did it all the time. And so it's just, I don't know, it's just so, it just really makes me uncomfortable when I hear anybody curse, but especially a woman. And again, it just looks very unladylike, and young women, I've heard. And there was a particular job that I was working on here since we've been here, and the ladies were just, not this job, but it was another job, and the ladies were just cursing, and I'm just like, why are they cursing so much? That was bothering me. And you would say, well, why do you even care? Well, I care because I'm listening to the conversation, and a lot of times it wouldn't even deem necessary for them to be using profanity. So that's what I couldn't understand. But I know a lot of times, all of us have things that we're struggling with. All of us have things that I think sometimes we're not even aware that we're doing, and we're doing them so much. Somebody had, I had heard someone speak about that. A lot of doors you have opened up in your life, some intentionally, some unintentionally, but you've been doing something for so long, you don't realize that it's just not good for you. It's become a way of life to you. And the Lord is saying, I want to remove that from you. I want to take that away from your mouth. I want to take that away from your body, whatever the case may be. But again, you've been doing it for so long, you think it's just a way of life. That's just what that's what you do. That's what I do. That's what I know, and same thing with me. In this new season, the Lord is showing me how doors, demonic doors have been opened up into my family's life, in my generation, family life. And so, generational line. And so I'm the one that's going to break those curses. I'm the one. I know I'm the one. God has revealed it to me. And so that's why the enemy fights me so hard, because I'm the one. I want to change. I want to change this way, that my aunts live, and my cousins live. I want to be the one. And as far back as I can remember, I was around all of this. I can so remember, being up under relatives that were just cursing and smoking and just doing all type of stuff that was ungodly, even as a child. And I would just sit in the midst of that. I was witnessing that. And I remember this one situation where my uncle, he's since passed away now, years ago. But I would always go over their house when I was older, got older, because they kind of sort of watched over me. I was just real close with them, and they watched me a lot when I was little. And so when I got old enough to drive and stuff like that, I would just randomly go over their house or whatever. This was like when I was in my 20s, and just go over their house and sit up, just sit up and chit chat, whatever. And then I go back home or whatever, because I think at this time I had moved out of my parents' house. So it was just somewhere to go and, be around family. But I remember in particular, he smoked a lot. And so he would always be, most of the time, be in his bedroom, sitting on, on the couch in the bedroom or whatever, and just be smoking. He was just smoking. And so it was just, and I remember when it was cold, the winter months, I would go over there, and my leather jacket would be so full of smoke when I would leave out of there. Smell like perfume and smoke, And so anybody that did not know me would say, gosh, she's a heavy smoker, because that's how much smoke it was. That room would be so full of smoke. And so I remember, I remember this. My mom had, of course, that was her brother. She had bought him one year. I don't know, remember if it was his birthday, Christmas, or what. I don't remember, but she bought him a smokeless ashtray. And this was just basically enabling his habit, saying, okay, I want to make it better for you, but to do, this harm in your body. And that's actually what he died from. He had cancer. But anyway, I remember she bought that for him. And because she was trying to say, smoke was going all over the place when, because everybody knew it, everybody witnessed it or whatever. But, I shared that to say this, is that, we can get so comfortable in what we do that, again, it becomes a way of life. We think that, well, what's wrong with that, but it's so, it's so a part of our life, that's bad habits. It could be good things that we think are good and they're not really good, saith the Lord. So, but we've been doing them for so long that we think that, it's so, what's wrong with it? And I think that's why a lot of times people get so upset when you confront them about something, and you say, well, I want to pray with you. And they're like, well, what's wrong with that? And I've even heard people say, I've been doing it all my life. What's wrong with it? It's not I'm not harming anybody. They'll quickly come to their own defense because, they're trying to basically say, what's wrong with what I'm doing? What am I doing wrong? I'm not bothering nobody. But you really are. And you're bothering yourself because you're hindering your blessings. Like I said, I've just really been, the Lord, I don't know what, I have to go in my secret closet about this, but he's just been allowing me to hear women just use the dirty words. I mean, just cursing, and like I said, a lot of it is just unnecessary, and they'll just be, the conversation will be fine, and they'll just, and sometimes they don't even be mad, it just comes out of their mouth. And I'm just like, what is going on? And it's not directed toward me. They're talking about a family member, or they're talking about something that happened to them on the way to work or the way home from work. They're describing something, but I'm like thinking in my mind, why did you have to curse? Why did you have to curse? And it's just, I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable. It seems like it should make them uncomfortable. But it just, I don't know, it makes me very uncomfortable because I'm just like, ugh, and like I said, it just sounds, I think some women may think it sounds cute, or I don't know, they may think it's attractive, but it's so ugly to hear it, and it just, I don't know, it just sort of pierces my ear. But I'm not on here to talk about anybody else's, what they're doing. I'm just saying, how the Lord allows us, all of us, to witness things that are not good. And, we're supposed to, go in prayer for those people or that person, and ask God to help them in that situation. Because there was this one particular job that I was on here, and it's been a little while, but the lady was always saying, I'm trying to remember how she would say it. She would say, Jesus. She was using the word Jesus, but it was she was trying to be, it was supposed to be funny how she was saying it. Jesus Louises or something like that. And so I'm like, and that was making me uncomfortable too, because I'm like, you don't use our Savior's name in no other way but to glorify him. So anyway, that would always bother me, and I begun to pray for her and stuff, and it seemed like she was doing it more some days, but then there were some days she would not do it. So again, we can pray for people and we can ask God to help them, but they have to go to God for themselves. They have to ask for forgiveness, repent of those sins, and then they have to acknowledge that they are doing something wrong, and then it goes on like that. But we can pray for hours and hours for somebody, but if they're not willing to go to God for themselves, and if they don't know God, then we got a lot of steps we got to take, because they don't know him. So how do they know they can go to him? So that's where we come in at. But again, I just wanted to hop on here and share this. I don't know if anybody else has witnessed this, but it makes me uncomfortable. I don't think I'm better than anybody, but I know that I'm a child of God. I know that I'm trying to live a life that's pleasing to Jesus. And when I'm around people that are not doing what they need to be doing, and I know that they can be doing better, that bothers me. I don't just shrug it off. I used to, I like to be honest. I used to be like, well, that's them, I'm doing me. But now that bothers me, because I'm like, what is going on in that person's life where they feel like they have to curse like that? And then I'm thinking, okay, if they're so comfortable doing that around me, and they don't even really know me like that, what are they doing at home, around their children, and that's what I'm thinking. That's what goes through my mind. But again, we just have to pray for people and ask God to touch them. One touch from Jesus changes everything in our lives, and we just have to, continue to pray, because a lot of people, they're deceived by the devil. They think that they're not doing anything wrong. They think that they're good people because they give to the poor, they give to the needy, they donate money, whatever, but their heart is far from God. None of that will get us into heaven. We got to have a relationship with Jesus. We got to know him for ourselves, not go by what nobody else told us. We have to have a relationship with him. I was looking at a funeral last night on TV through YouTube, and I was just listening to how the different people was getting up talking about this person, and a person gone on, and wherever their soul is resting. But it seemed like the person, from the life they lived, they were a good person. That's just what it appeared to be. But nobody knows where we will eternally rest but Jesus. He knows how we're living. We got to stand before him. We do. But again, this person had did a lot of, seemed like beautiful, wonderful things. Everybody got up, was talking. And so my son had come into the room, and he said, Mama, he said, and he's 23. This was just straight from innocent. He said, Mama, he said, people get up and say all type of things at funerals over the person. They're dead. They can't hear them anymore. I said, yeah, but Jesus hears them. And he said, we don't know if that stuff is true that they're saying. I said, exactly. I said, but God knows. And so, and not saying anybody gets up and lies about anything, but what I'm saying, what the point is of that, when the life we live, we're preaching our funeral now. The life, how we're treating people, how we're loving people. Nobody should have to get up and say too much about any of us. If we've lived a life completely pleasing the Lord and doing what he called us to do in that lifetime, while he allowed us to live those years, nobody should have to say anything. You had a life that spoke for itself. 20, 30 people shouldn't have to get up and talk about what you did. And I know a lot of times people say, do anybody have any words? Because a lot of times the family, a lot of stuff that people get up and say at funerals, the family had no idea that they did. The person who passed away did. So I understand all that. But what I'm saying is that, we have to come to the realization that all of us, while we're living, we should be living to please the Lord, not man. So when we do die, our life spoke for itself. And I've actually been to around people, and they say, that person lived a beautiful life. God is well pleased with that person. I've heard people actually say that. But at the same time, we don't know, because we can think that the person lived such a beautiful life and it seemed like they did everything right. But God, I don't know. God is the judge. He's the one that has the last say so. So again, we can't put anybody in heaven. We can't put anybody in hell. But what we can do is love on one another, treat each other right, and help one another. Do what we need to do, what we can while we can, because none of us are promised the next minute. It used to be the next day, but it's the same day now. So we need to be careful how we treat people, how we talk to people. And the Holy Spirit just led me into that, because that was in my mind too from what we watched last night, that funeral. But again, I pray that something is always said on this video, on this channel, that is glory, or that you hear Jesus speak through me and not just me. I pray that the Lord just continues to encamp his holy angels around you and your family always. I pray that every prayer that you have ever prayed to Jesus, he will answer in his perfect timing. according to his perfect, divine, and holy will for all of your lives. Always remember, I love you, but remember, God loves you so much more. Thank you all for subscribing to this channel. Thank you all for listening to this channel, as you could be listening to whoever. And I just thank God for allowing me to create this channel, because it's all glory, praise, and honor is due to him for all that he has done for all of us. May God bless you all in a mighty, mighty way, and may he continue to shine his holy light upon you all. Bye-bye.